Okay, so let's begin our speaking session. What we will be doing today, guys, is we'll be doing a complete speaking end to end. What I'll be doing is that I'll be evaluating you on the speaking part as is done by the IELTS evaluator. So Rohit, are you ready for your speaking? I think Rohit dropped off. Okay. So Shalu, do you want to start with your speaking? Do you want to practice some speaking?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So there are three parts to the speaking test. The first part is a general interview. So we will be starting with that. These are some basic questions about you is what we will be doing. And then we will be moving to the second part, which is the cue card. Okay, so just give me a second. So let's move to the first part. Okay, let's begin with the part one. So, do you like art?
Yes, sir. I like art, and in a leisure time, I do more creativity with the waste material like crafting for homes and etc.
Good. Do you think art classes are necessary?
Well, it depends on the people, like uh, whoever interested for in the art classes. So definitely join these classes. But who are not interested
Okay.
for art, so I don't think so. They are joined the art class.
Okay. Let's move to the next question. How do you think art classes affect children?
Uh, well, in the contemporary era, the art is very art is very very creativity, like for children and for adults also. And it positive effect, I think it is a positive effect on the children's development, and children can do more creativity using art material like clay.
Mhm.
And my children also like play and using the I vividly remember um, my kids are working with the clay uh, and made the Ganesha's photo.
Okay. What kind of paintings do you think Indian people like generally?
I think Indian people are the mostly related to the historical, and mostly the Indian people uh, like the Sikh devotees uh, are the uh, are Sikh devotees are like the paintings to the Sikhism, like Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and but my favorite is running horses, because the elder said that uh, this is for the worth, uh, and इसको कैसे
Okay.
बोलेंगे, जैसे मतलब ये मतलब कि जैसे इसके अच्छे के लिए ये है।
Okay, this is for the good, but what exactly do you want to say? What is it that you want to say? Tell me
मतलब
in English. Tell me in Hindi. What do you want to say?
जो जो जैसे मतलब कि जो horse की जैसे पिक्चर होती है ना एक, जिसमें
Mm-hmm.
जैसे जो घोड़े हैं वो दौड़ते हैं, तो वो कहते हैं कि बहुत अच्छा है, जैसे मनी के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, कि
Okay.
घर के
Okay.
लिए बहुत अच्छा
It is considered to be auspicious, or it is considered to be lucky. Okay, you can say that
है।
the
लकी।
paintings of running horses is considered to be lucky or auspicious by some, is what you can say. Okay. What can you learn from Western paintings?
I I didn't knowledge for the Western paintings, uh, so I didn't explain more on the Western paintings uh, rather than the Indian paintings, because I am an Indian, so I have no knowledge.
Okay, good. A couple of things here, before we move ahead, a couple of things. So there are 4 parameters on which you are evaluated, right? For your speaking, you are evaluated on your fluency. You are evaluated on the pronunciation. You are evaluated for lexical resource, which is your vocabulary. And you are evaluated on grammar. So these are the 4 parameters that you are evaluated on. So for part one, you have to be careful that you are answering in about 2 to 3 sentences, a maximum of 3 sentences. You don't need to go beyond that.
Okay,
Okay? We
three
just
sentences.
need to, yeah, stick to 2 or 3 sentences is what you need to stick to.
ओके, मेरा आंसर मतलब कि जो इंट्रोडक्टरी क्वेश्चंस थे वो लॉन्ग था कि
Yes, they were a bit towards the longer side. So we'll have to stick to 2 or 3 sentences. That is one. Secondly, we have to be fluent. When it comes to part one, we have to be fluent because these are very basic questions, right? So just be natural, just be fluent, and don't think too much about these questions. These questions are your day-to-day questions, so just stick to them.
और मेरे पॉजेस कैसे थे, ज्यादा थे?
Sorry.
जो मेरे पॉज आ रहे थे बीच में,
बिल्कुल, तो
जैसे मैं
पॉजेज एंड की जो साउंड होती है वो सब हमारे फिलर्स में आता है। तो हम कई बार कुछ वर्ड्स होते हैं जिनको हम बार बार यूज करते हैं, साउंड्स होती हैं, जैसे की साउंड होती है, या यू नो जैसे वर्ड्स होते हैं, उनको हम यूज करते हैं एज फिलर्स. So we have to make sure that we are not doing it. We are avoiding that kind of a thing is what we do. Okay. So, do you like art? Yes, most certainly I do like art. In fact, in my free time, I prefer to paint.
ओके।
Okay, 2 sentences, that is enough. You can stop there. Do you think art classes are necessary? Yes, absolutely. I think the more you learn, the better you get at it. So, everyone should take art classes if they are interested in it. Done?
ओके सर।
How do you think arts classes impact children's development? Well, they are very important for children's overall development. They learn creative things. Like my children play with clay and they make sculptures of like Lord Ganesha. Okay. So sculpture, photo nahi.
स्कल्चर्स स्कल्चर्स मीन कि जो
और
हम मूर्ति बनाते हैं।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल, right?
ओके।
Photo would be an image. So we have to be careful what words are we using. What kinds of paintings do Indian people like? So Indian people like various kinds of paintings, mostly religious ones, like you said, mentioning a few examples. That was very good. mentioning those examples was very good. And then also talking about, I would prefer the painting of running horses as they are considered to be auspicious or lucky. What can you learn from Western paintings? I do not know much about Western art, so I have no opinion and I cannot tell you how I feel about it. It is absolutely okay, guys, to say that you don't know an answer. क्योंकि ये जो सेशन है, ये जो आपका आइल्स का टेस्ट है, it is not about your knowledge. It is only about the English, the language, that how fluent are you with the language? Are you versant with the language or not? So that is what they are looking at. They're not looking at how you speak in terms of the knowledge ki kitni knowledge hai aapko is topic pe. They are not looking at that. Even if you are saying something which is factually incorrect, it will not take away your points. तो इसमें कभी भी you don't need to get confused कि ओह मेरे को इस टॉपिक में नहीं पता तो clearly बोल दो I do not know much about this topic. Secondly, there are certain words that we use, contemporary era जैसे जो words होते हैं, these are quite overused words. We have to make sure we don't need to use heavy words. जो IELTS examiners हैं, they are listening to these words day in and day out. It is better that you use simpler words, but they are correct, rather than using complicated words incorrectly. Use simpler words correctly. That will get you better scores, right? So don't just try to fit some words here or there. Just make sure कि अगर हम simple sentences भी बना रहे हैं, वो grammatically correct हैं. Once we are done with that part, एक बार हमारे sentences grammatically correct हो जाते हैं, is when we will work on the vocabulary. Is when we will try and replace those words. Okay? So what we are trying is to speak fluently, bina ruke. Part 1 mein, we will be talking about just 2 or 3 lines. That's about it. We start with the first line, जो भी क्वेश्चन है उससे बेस्ड, और उसके बाद उसका कुछ एक्सप्लेनेशन, उसको थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. अब उसमें हम ये बता सकते हैं कि हमारी क्या फीलिंग है उसके बारे में, हमारा क्या एक्सपीरियंस है, वो सब बात कर सकते हैं. And if you think you need to go a little deeper, then you go for sentence 3. Otherwise, even 2 sentences should be more than enough. ठीक है? So we will practice more. This was part 1. We will practice part 2 tomorrow. So we have this speaking session, live speaking session every day at 7. So Monday to Friday. So if you want to be a part of these sessions, just click on the link in the description and be a part of these live sessions. Abhi, Shalu, for the speaking that we did, an approximate band score for this one would be around a 5.5 to 6. Okay.
5.5.
But we can surely improve on that. The good part is that you are able to articulate things, you are able to think of ideas, which is very good. You are not freezing. We will keep practicing and getting better at it.
बस मेरे pauses की problem, pauses और एक जो
Grammar, there is a little bit of problem with the grammar, so we'll have to work on the grammar bit. We'll have to work on the fluency. You were using some varied vocabulary, but we have to make sure that we are using it correctly. Pronunciation is not a problem for you. Pronunciation is almost correct, so pronunciation is all right. So
sir, एक जो in the contemporary era, फिर अगर मैं वो ना बोलूँ तो उसकी जगह पे क्या बोलूँ?
nowadays,
Now,
these days, right?
Okay.
So contemporary era, we do not talk in that way, right? Do we? जब हम आम बातचीत करते हैं किसी से, do we ever use these words contemporary era जैसा? No, we don't. Okay, so we don't need to do it here as well. For people, thank you, Shalu. So for the people who are watching this video on YouTube, Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe the channel. See you guys tomorrow at 7. Bye. Have a nice time.